Jim Bittner, Cranford. I actually would like to bring to the attention of the Freeholder Board and the citizens of Union County an article that appeared in the Cranford Patch on April 10th. It was actually a press release by the Sebastian Vielia's Office of Public Information. It was titled Mild Winter Leads to Mosquito Boom. Mosquito Boom. Okay. In the article, it talks about the mild winter, and that therefore we are expecting, I'm quoting, are expecting and preparing to see a large mosquito population in the summer, Mr. Vielia said in the article. They quote 2 cases of dengue fever in Union County, though they can't document that these cases actually ever occurred in the county, but maybe they were brought from foreign travel. He talks about testimony being given by residents that there's an abundant amount of adult mosquitoes on the wing already in Union County. Testimony, not sure what that meant, okay, and that surveys have been done to document the adult population of mosquitoes. This might interest you, Ms. Freeholder Kowalski, since you're very concerned with mosquitoes. I decided to Oprah this information that's being disseminated. My comments in the past have been considered inane. Well, this press release is completely fictitious and non-factual. After I Oprah'd it, I found out that there are no surveys being done or ever done. All right, there's some surveillance of sites. There were roughly 20 work orders generated from complaints of people throughout the county that were saying their neighbor's pool was harboring mosquitoes, the neighbor's bird bath, their backyard. Every one of these reports came back negative. There's no mosquitoes in Union County. There's no
mosquitoes in Union County?
According to this report, there's no live mosquitoes in any one of these sites that have been surveyed. All right? I'm at a loss to explain this press release. I would appreciate it if press releases would stick to the facts and maybe talk to things that the taxpayers are concerned about, like the budget. I'm appalled that this was put in the newspaper, put out for distribution. Don't know why. It did seem like it was all just to justify the purchase of new spraying equipment and relabeling of the county's arsenal for delivering a liquid larvicide. That's the best I could come up with it. But there's no dengue fever. There are no mosquitoes. There's a drought going on. I think maybe we probably would next be expecting the purchase of more fire trucks to put out the mosquito population. All right, thank you. Good evening. I think you ought to check into this. I think you ought to check into this because it's a completely fictitious and non-factual report put out by the Bureau of Misinformation. Thank you.
All right, before you jump in there, Mr. Berry, maybe we'll have Mr. Schnano or Director Graziano come and have some comments on Mr. Bittner's presentation.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I brought Ralph Schrano to the meeting tonight to answer any questions that we might have, so we're just going to bring him up. He's the Bureau Chief of the Bureau of Mosquitoes for the county.
Chairman, freeholders, and the general public, to clarify some of Mr. Bittner's comments. I think, first of all, we all know that the newspapers accurately quote everything that we say. and the information that actually was sent to the newspaper remotely resembles what the article came out in the newspaper. The word survey never appeared in the information that was given to, her name was Ms. Antonelli that wrote that article. And they just decided that, it was just the vernacular and they would use it in the way that best fit the article. Are there mosquitoes in Union County? You bet there are. I swatted one several weeks ago that was in front of my house that was already taking a blood meal. And they were out there. I was out running, and I myself had seen them myself. The people that made these requests, and here's where you have to take the context into account here. Last year, for the same period, year to date, plugging to today, we had 2 complaints. This year we had 23, regardless of whether or not we found breeding, and we did find breeding. My men have been bringing in samples of larvae. We did find mosquitoes on the wing, not enough to get excited about and do any spraying at the moment, but in addition to that, I checked with the other counties to see if they were experiencing the same thing. I believe Freeholder Hudak has a copy of a report that I submitted, and he can quote the percentage increase. If you just go from 2 to 23, I think that's a significant increase, and that is a telling story and a trend in the business of mosquito control operations. On top of that, if there aren't any mosquitoes in Union County, I must be doing a really good job, because they've been trying for 100 years to suppress the population of mosquitoes, and nowhere in the entire world has that occurred. So basically, we have mosquitoes here. The public should not be misled by that. And they do have the potential to be vectors for diseases that we all have to pay attention to. The 2 cases where they mentioned dengue fever, we didn't even know about that until the report came out from the Center for Disease Control. It goes through the state and it's submitted to us, and it takes months. Things move slow when you're talking about things of that nature, and it did state that there was no travel history submitted along with those 2 cases. And I think there were a couple of cases of malaria. We do live in a day and age where people travel extensively, but this is the way that these diseases populate. The mosquito would bite the individuals that have it, and there's documented cases during World War II when our soldiers were coming back that we had an outbreak of malaria in Union County. This is something you have to remain vigilant of. We work very closely with the Center for Disease Control at Rutgers University. They are the premier university in the state of New Jersey. They are recognized worldwide in their work in vector control. For somebody to belittle our operation, the fact that we got a label change due to some of the research work that we did here in Union County is something that other agencies throughout the state have looked highly upon what we did, because it facilitates the rest of the state and other states that surround us in a unique method of combating our new and exotic species, which we have 2 of now in the state of New Jersey that we haven't had in the past decades. Furthermore, just to add a little spice to this, West Nile virus, which we all know is in Union County. We do specimen collections that we send into state labs, and they determine, in several cases we had 42 positive pools of West Nile virus mosquitoes last season. And this year, in my asking around the state, the other county agencies, what the numbers were that they were getting as far as resident complaints, our neighboring county of Morris tested a positive crow for West Nile virus. We're in April. This usually doesn't occur until July. So I think the article wasn't, somebody's figment of imagination. I think it was, it was good, accurate, informative reporting. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Strano. It's nice to be
accurate? Which is it?
All right, please, can we please have some restraint?
I did my homework.
Mutual respect. Mr. Mr. Burry, please.
Thank you. Don't get me back. John Burry, Kenilworth. Glad we got that out there. And finishing up, I was told that there used to be sentinel chickens on the border for West Nile. Is that true? And you know, what became of the chickens? How is it?
I have no idea.
Thank you, Chairman. I also saw the story in the patch regarding mosquito control, and I've had conversations with Bureau Chief Strana going back to last year, and I think as everyone is aware, we are going through a rather unusual weather pattern in this country, and over the last 12 months, including, and I had conversations and had the opportunity to ride around with the mosquito control group following Hurricane Irene, and then we had the winter storm in October. And those presented significant challenges to the Bureau because a lot of the spray work that they had done over the course of the summer was effectively wiped out, which does create a danger for the public. Additionally, we had all the debris that was collected in those two major events led to a lot of homes where maybe gutters were backed up. Debris was in pools, creating cooling, which turns into breeding grounds for mosquitoes. So it's actually a very serious issue, and considering how arid it has been over the last few weeks, and I don't know about you, but when I come home in the evening and the porch light's on in the beginning of March, and I see moths and other insects flying around the light, it's alarming. And with the ground being so dry, at some point it will rain, and it will lead to puddling, and it will lead to more outbreaks of mosquito incidences. Because unfortunately, the mosquito population has not been eradicated in New Jersey, as was earlier said tonight. So it's a concern for the residents, and I commend the Bureau for the excellent job they do. And moreover, I think it's very alarming when a crow is found in a neighboring county with the West Nile virus, especially since last I checked, crows do not respect county boundaries before deciding where they're going to fly. So we can only imagine he took a flight path that was directly over Union County before falling in Mars. So commend that Bureau for the work they do, and also for any residents at home who are interested in how they can make their property safer this summer. There are what they call the 10 Commandments for mosquito control. Get rid of old tires, tin cans, buckets, drums, bottles, and any water-retaining containers on your property. Fill in and drain low places, puddles and ruts in your yard. Keep drain ditches and culverts clean of weeds and trash so water will drain properly. Cover trash containers to keep out rainwater. Repair leaky pipes and outdoor faucets. Empty plastic wading pools at least once a week and store it in indoor areas when not in use. Make sure your backyard pool is properly cared for while you're on vacation. Fill in tree rot holes and hollow stumps that hold water with sand and concrete, and change the water in bird baths, plant pots, and drip trays at least once a week. And finally, cut your grass short and make sure your shrubbery is well trimmed around the house so adult mosquitoes cannot hide there. I think as it stays warm, I think people are tending to sit back on the lawn maintenance, but it's important that people keep up to it because it is a public safety effort, and residents should also feel free to call the Bureau of Mosquito Control if you should have a house where no one lives, for instance, a house that's being foreclosed upon. A lot of times, since those houses are not being properly maintained, the drainage can back up and you can have a lot of issues with mosquito growth there. In terms of the budget, to change the directions,